Hello students, welcome back to Wikipedia Word videos. My topic for the presentation is 8th section of the chapter Kingdom Plantae. In this section of the video, we will be continuing to discuss about the seed, Angiosperms seed. Okay, so seed is what? It is a fertilized or metamorphosed ovule that contains an embryo which is enclosed in resistant protective coat. Okay. We very well know that angiosperms, they have very much smaller female reproductive part than non-flowering plant, which allow them to produce seeds more quickly. Okay, so seed, they are fertilized and they are metamorphosed ovule that contain an embryo which is enclosed in resistant protective coat. So seed is initial dormant stage of sporophyte, which is also called as diploid cycle or life cycle of spermatophytes or phanerogams. Okay, so life cycle of a plant, they occur in two phases, which is first is haploid phase, which is called as gametophyte, and a diploid phase, which is called as sporophyte. I repeat, life cycle of angiosperm, it occurs in two phases. First is haploid phase, which is called as gametophyte, and another phase is called as diploid phase, which is called as sporophyte. So seed is initial dormant stage of diploid, which is a sporophyte stage, and a life cycle of spermatophytes or phanerogams. So let us consider a diagrammatic representation of alternation of generation in angiosperm. So this is what it is: 2n, which is sporophyte, and this is gametophyte, which is n in number, that is haploid stage. Okay, this is n and this is 2n. So sporophyte is generally diploid and gametophyte is generally haploid. This is flower, which is 2n, that is diploid. This is stamen, which is 2n, and this is the carpel, which is female gametophyte. It is also 2n. 2n means diploid in nature. And stamen, it produces a sperm, which is n in pollen. N, that is haploid, it represents haploid stage, and carpel, it produces egg, which is again n, that is haploid. And then fertilization takes place and it forms embryo, which is 2n. Okay, and it forms seed, which is 2n. That means one sperm, it reaches to the egg and it forms zygote, and another sperm, it fertilizes endosperm, or sorry, the polar nuclei, and it forms endosperm. Okay, which is 3n, that provides nutrients to the developing embryo. So dicot seed, see, this is the dicot seed, which has a seed coat in it that protects the seed from ruptures, which has usually two layers. The outer one is called as testa, which is very thick and resistant. That means it combats the seed from any ruptures. Okay, so it is very thick and resistant, and the inner seed coat is called as inner tegmen. So this is called as inner tegmen, which is thin and membranous. Now what's the function of seed coat? Obviously it covers the embryo and it provides protection to the developing embryo. Okay, so the seed coat, it covers the embryo and it gives protection. See, this is the funicle. It is a stalk of a seed that to attach itself to a wall of a fruit. So funicle is nothing, it is just a stalk of seed to attach itself to wall of fruit. So this is the wall of a fruit and this is the stalk that gets attached to the wall of a fruit. See, this is the hilum. Okay, point where funicle is attached, it is also called as scare. And this is the micropylar end, pore in testa, where seed absorbs water and develops radicle. And in later stages of progression of a plant body, radicle, it give rise to a root system, and plumule it give rise to shoot system. See, there are two regions in germinating seed. One is radicle and another is plumule. So radicle, it give rise to root system. This way you can memorize it, like R for radicle and R for root system. So radicle, it give rise to root system, and plumule, it give rise to shoot system. And pore in testa, where seed absorbs water and it develops radicle, that is called as micropyle. Okay, see, this is the zoom view. This is the micropyle of a seed. This is the radicle that give rise to root system, and this is the raphe. Now we'll talk about the dicot seed, which has two cotyledons or two initial leaf that sprout out from a seedling just after germination. So that is called as cotyledons. See, this is one cotyledon and this is another cotyledon. This is the dicot seed structure. This is outer one is seed coat. These blue ones are cotyledons, which are the initial leaf which are present in the seedling just after the germination. This is the epicotyle, this is hypocotyle, and this entire part, that is cotyledon plus epicotyle plus hypocotyle, it give rise to embryo. So this is seed coat, this is embryo axis, which is called as tigellum. See, this is tigellum, from where cotyledons arises. See, these two are the cotyledons, and this is the axis, which is called as tigellum, and this is the plumule part, which give rise to shoot system of a plant body, and this is the radicle, which give rise to root system of a plant body. Okay, so plumule, it give rise to future shoot, and radicle, it give rise to future root. Okay, so let's talk about the embryo now. See, this is the cotyledon, which is initial leaf that sprout out from a seedling that just after the germination, you can say. And this is the embryo axis, which is also called as tigellum. First note, this is the plumule, which give rise to a shoot system in the later stages of a progression. So part of an embryo axis between plumule and cotyledon is epicotyle. This is epicotyle. Epi means above and cotyl means cotyledon. So above cotyledon is epicotyle, which is present here, and this is radicle, which give rise to a root system. And then part of an embryo axis between radicle and cotyledon is called as hypocotyle. I'll repeat, hypocotyle is a part of an embryo axis that is also called as tigellum between radicle and cotyledon. See, this is radicle and this is cotyledon. Between these two is called as hypocotyle. Okay, so hypo means below and cotyledon means below. So below region of cotyledon hypocotyle is formed, and above cotyledon is epicotyle. Okay, I hope it is clear to you now. Epicotyle and hypocotyle, above cotyle and below cotyle respectively. So two type of dicot seeds are found. One is Angiosperms, which is also called as albuminous seed, which possess endosperm as food storing tissue, and cotyledons, they are thin and papery because these are the initial leaves that are present just after the germination, you can say. So this is Angiosperms seed, which is castor, which is also called as albuminous seed, and custard apple, that is sharifa. Okay, so these are the examples of Angiosperms seed. And then comes another type of dicot seed, and that is non-endospermous or albuminous seed. They lack endosperm at maturity. Okay, and cotyledons, they are very thick and fleshy, unlike endospermous seed, who has thin and very papery kind of cotyledons. Example of non-endospermous seed is bean and gram and groundnut and peas. So these four are the examples of non-endospermous seeds, or they are also called as X-albuminous seed. So this was all about the seeds which are present in angiosperms. In my next section of the presentation, we'll be studying about the life cycles of angiosperms, such as diplontic, haplontic, okay, and alternation of generation. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching Edupedia Word videos. Thank you.